this video, so there's no news breaker or anything like that. I just wanted to share some stuff that uh, watching this for like a third time. I started taking notes, which I should have done the first time. It was just shocking to hear what he said the first time around. But I took some notes and I just wanted to share some of the stuff I thought was just piecing this together. I guess what I'm trying to say to the things I've been coming across recently that you've been kind enough to take some time out of your day to just see what I'm trying to point out. All right.
Now, we have a lot of scholars and etymologists out there, and individuals are missing the point. How can you be held in exile in your own homeland without it being your own homeland? And this is the point that we have to realize. And again, I'm going to go back to the United Nations again, because it's very vital that individuals understand that right now UN troops are amassing in Virginia, in Maryland, and in places out west in Arizona. They are bringing their equipment in right now because the president has ordered 1 million UN soldiers for the United States.
Hold on, I just saw this. I just saw the tanks and the trucks, and this was just recently posted, like 24 hours ago.
The Bureau of Land Management has been confiscating the land of ranchers. Black folks in this country are not ranchers. So the BLM, the Bureau of Land Management, has been confiscating land of white ranchers in this country for the purpose of...
He makes a good point too, because when I first heard that, what came to my mind is down in Florida, there's a lot of Haitians that come up, and they grow up down there, and they bust their tails, they bust their butts off, working in the orange groves and stuff like that down there, in the watermelon fields. And I mean, they know what hard work is. I know that for a fact, and I just thought about something. Wait a minute, I said Haitians. He ain't talking. That still ain't us. It is, but it's not the like not the person that lives here that's all worried about making it on love and hip hop and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, talking to my sister. She's having a problem with one of her sons. He doesn't want to do anything in school, and I said, school's not the greatest, but at the same time, let them go work with some of the Haitians that know what hard work is, that are raising their children when they come here to bust their tails. And what I'm saying, then see what he likes more, working with them and doing that kind of work, which basically will be all he's going to be good for, or in this infrastructure that's been placed over us, or get some type of education and help change the process, become a lawyer, be something that can help change, the direction that our people are going in.
Giving it back and using it for the debt.
Really?
And what he's talking about too, I actually ran across this album, and I was trying to see what video I actually heard these older white dudes talking about this, because they all ticked off. But out in the western states, they pieced together that Hillary Clinton, right? She owns a company, and it's under the Clinton Foundation. The company's based out of Canada. Well, they are in the western states, and they are removing the uranium and I forget the other metal from the ground out there, and it's being sent back to Canada, right? And from Canada, that Clinton owned company is selling it to the Russians. So when she's up there, talking about, I don't like your Donald Trump's relationship to Putin and all that stuff, and it's like a joke, because I mean you gotta be laughing when you know that stuff, that she's doing that. And and they were talking about like 90% of the land west of the Colorado Rockies is government land now. So I mean, this is when you got white folks, they're sitting up there, ready to pop off their guns, and they finding this stuff. I almost have to say, this is absolutely true what he's saying. He knows what he's talking about.
The Sustainable Development Agenda and deadline that the United Nations put in place. This was put in place because the United States has tremendous debt, and that debt has to be paid to China. That debt has to be paid to Russia and other countries. And the only means of paying for that debt is with the land, because the U.S. dollar is no longer accepted by Russia nor China.
You know, I had a guy explain. We were talking about the dollar, you know, and talking about gold and stuff, and he explained it to me so beautifully. It was funny, right? He said, "All right, Melvin, let's say I want you to come out to my house because you know how to do some electrical work, right?" And I was like, "All right." He's like, "Now you can come out there and then you're gonna tell me what the bill is for me you to do that work." Well, I said, "Okay, we agree on it. Now you work on my house, right?" And he said, "You do that electrical work." And he said, now you hand me a bill." He said, "You know what the government has done?" He's like, "They turn around and they print off these paper backs and they give them to me, and now I'm gonna turn around and give you it." And he's like, "And you're gonna walk away thinking you got paid." He's like, "No, we just evened out the score. It's at a stalemate." He's like, "Cause all I handed you was what?" I said, "A dollar bill." He's like, "Say it again." I said, "A dollar bill." He said, "Take away the dollar." I said, "A bill." He said, "Exactly. You handed me a bill, said it was this much. I handed you that much back in a bill." I was like, "Man, that is wicked." Not in a good way. Not. And I want to say wicked, I mean like evil. I'm sorry. Now I don't want you to get it confused for like the Boston people. You know, they come around, they all talking about, "Oh, that's wicked," but when they saying wicked, they're saying it's good. And I ain't using it like that, but
And the debt has to be paid with the land. So what was put in place was deadlines were put in place for indigenous or Aborigine people in America to make land claims and identity claims. And that deadline expired December 31st, 2014, meaning that after December 31st, 2014, no one could come forward again and make a land claim or identity claim saying, "I'm Indian," or "My family was Indian and I have rights to a."
And that ended in
That
2014.
ended in 2014.
So what do I
December
do
31st.
now?
There's absolutely nothing that you can do.
Nothing?
There's absolutely
But I
nothing.
just got my blood tested by XYZ and they told me my blood is 67% Massachusetts, Algonquin.
And you also found all these documents that shows that your family was Indian and had lands, etc. The deadline is passed.
How?
Because it has been put in place by the international community. Barack Obama, under the Copenhagen Treaty, gave the United States Constitution away to the United Nations in 2010. This is why the courts are going rogue, because they no longer have to uphold the Constitution.
you know, and that makes me wonder why, like in the state of Michigan, they've been actually getting away with using Sharia law in their courts, and it was Michigan and what was the other place? Was it Idaho? It was like one of the other Western states. I was learning that like 2 years ago, they were actually getting away already with using, Sharia law, and they had some Christians on these Christian stations all upset. They're like, "You can't do that. The Constitution is this, and the Constitution is that." And I was thinking to myself too when they start talking about that. If the White House got burned down by the British, did the Constitution, the original Constitution, get burned down during all that? I know they tell that it's supposed to be housed in the library of, was it Congress and all that stuff. I was just thinking about stuff like that. All those original documents, you know what I'm saying? How do they rewrite those or redraft them?
But this is not something to be announced to all these radical white folks, because they'll start shooting up the place because the Constitution is gone. And speaking of shooting up the place, Barack has had over 18 incidents with machine gun fire being fired inside the White House and outside and from outside the White House. So we're dealing with a president that has suffered a great deal of attack in a lot of areas. So we're dealing with the president that can't come forward and say, "Black man, wake up."
But I also wonder too if he would, anyways, because I mean his bloodline. The fact that he is direct cousins with George Bush, and George Bush is, with the great grandson of Aleister Crowley. You know what I'm saying? Does this affect him? I mean, he's cousins with Brad Pitt. I always thought about that when they started talking about the birth certificate thing. I mean, first of all, I know he doesn't even need to show a birth certificate because America is it's a company, it's an enterprise, right? It got turned over right after the Civil War to being the United States corporation. You know what I'm saying? And all these other men have just been the head of a corporation. That's why, I mean, as long as you pay your taxes and you can be, and don't get any trouble with the law. I mean, other than that, you can be the president of any company and the CEO and stuff like that. So, I mean, I think the whole birth certificate thing was was stupid, that people keep trying to say, "Show your birth certificate," when you don't need to. He was absolutely in his right to say, "I don't need to show it." But if anyone never really cared, why aren't you pressing Bush and Brad Pitt, his cousins, for that stuff? You know?
Black man, go and get these books. Go and realize that you are not from this continent of Africa. We're all a part of the diaspora. Every life on the planet is a part of the diaspora. But the key is for the United Nations and for all these conscious groups running around the country. The key is simple. How long have your people been here in America?
We don't know.
If your people were in America prior to the establishment of the United States, then the United Nations says that you are indigenous. Now, see, that's key. Because if you are indigenous, then you have international protections as an individual, as a group. If you are not indigenous, then you don't belong here, as Donald Trump says.
And he's right.
He's moving on what he already knows exists in policy. But the public doesn't know it exists in policy. The public is not aware that the Sustainable Development Agenda and the claims against America put in motion the ability for the United States politicians to start removing African Americans and Mexican Americans from this country, which is what they've been trying to do since they came in. James Monroe and a few others with $16,000 purchased the lands called Liberia. And then they began shipping thousands of Negro Indians to Liberia to populate those lands of Liberia.
See, now that's what I was getting to because, all right, I actually thought I was running across this in the past when I was actually learning about President Andrew Jackson. You know, he was actually talking to some British agents. These British agents were like, you know, it would be a wise investment for the United States to purchase land in, I'm sorry, I don't know why my phone is acting like that. It would be a wise investment for you to purchase lands in Africa. And, you know, I was reading letters where he, you know, wrote back and forth that he's not so much into it because this dude was all about the Jews, like the fake Jews. He's all about, you know, these are no other people on earth have done so much to, you know, improve the planet than the Jews and stuff like that. So I was like, all right. So I actually took some time and I was like, I wanted to look up where Liberia was, right? And let me see here. Did I find it? I found this. I thought was pretty good. Now look at that. He said they purchased land, right? And when you take the Wikipedia, which I'll do this the next time I have some time. I'm about to run out of space on my. But they actually purchased this land, right? He said, right, and then they started populating, taking people out of the Americans, bring them here. Now, isn't this what I've been trying to figure out? Because what the Bantu people started in this region and spread out here. At least this is what the story they always give us, right? They start here and spread out, and then they go downwards, right? The Benin people are